Be a little bit easier to get, right, Brian? Thanks.
Cheers, Kevin. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. So really, I just want to give two key messages. And the first message is that Horizon 2020 is a great opportunity for industry. And specifically, it's a great opportunity for SMEs. And I suppose there's been this policy shift in Europe over the last 5 or 6 years, where more and more the focus has become on innovation and how you commercialize research results. I started in European funding more than 20 years ago, and at that time, and somebody else has spoken about it earlier in one of the presentations, I think it was Kevin, at that time the focus was on research. That has significantly changed. The focus now is on innovation, and it's what you do with the research results. So more and more SMEs and industrial partners in these projects are coming to the fore. So that really, for the first time, I guess, is reflected in the Horizon 2020 funding program, in that it is the impact of the research which is the important thing. So gone are the days really where you're doing research for the sake of research. You really now need to show the application of the research results, how that increases competitiveness, how it increases employment, how it generates economic activity. And industrial partners are key, obviously, to showing that. So when we're putting together a consortium, as Kevin has spoken about, we really welcome industrial participation. So industry really is in a very, very strong position in terms of their involvement in European projects. Now, there's 79 billion euro available in Horizon 2020 between now and the year 2020. 20% of that is ring-fenced for industrial participation. So it's a very, very sizable chunk of money between now and 2020. About 3 billion of that 20% will be accounted for by what they're calling a dedicated SME instrument, and I'll have a few slides there about that. But one of the key messages I want to get across is that possibilities to participate in Horizon 2020 for SMEs is not limited to the dedicated SME instrument. There's loads of other opportunities right across the programme for SMEs. So the way Horizon 2020 is organised is that there's a series of work programmes, one of which is ICT. But as Kevin made a point, and he's quite correct, in that ICT is embedded right across all work programmes in Horizon 2020. So I suppose the key thing that I want to try and get across is that as industrial partners, one, you're very well positioned to take advantage of Horizon 2020. Two, look at the SME instrument if you qualify as an SME. But three, and most importantly, also look beyond the SME instrument to fit as part of a consortium targeting other areas of Horizon 2020. Yeah, demonstration of impact is critical, and I would just reinforce that point, that the way these proposals are structured is that you have an excellence section in the first part of the proposal, which is about the science and technology and the research work that you're proposing to undertake. The second area is impact, where you really need to show, as I've said, the economic impact that the project is going to have. And to show that economic impact, industrial participation is critical. The second key thing I want to say is that the TSSG can help. There's about 120 plus or minus researchers in the TSSG. I would say that there's a very strong cohort of about 35 or 40 people who have either written European proposals, who have coordinated European projects, who have managed European projects, or who have acted as work package leaders. So there's a lot of expertise there. There's a lot of people who have been involved in this for a long time. We have made all the mistakes, So I would encourage you to take advantage of that. So really, if you hear nothing else for the rest of the presentation, here are the two key messages. One, Horizon 2020 should be of interest to you, and two, TSSG can help in terms of you accessing the funding. I just want to say for the next 2 slides something about this SME instrument, because there's been a lot of publicity around it, and it's a new feature of Horizon 2020. So in Framework 7, which is the predecessor of Horizon 2020, there was an instrument called Research for the Benefit of SMEs. And really, the Commission, I guess, have taken that a step further now in Horizon 2020 by including a dedicated SME instrument. And rather than going through the text there, I think the next slide, which is from the Commission themselves, actually sums it up well. So there are 3 different phases. Phase 1, which is about developing the feasibility of your concept. Phase 2, which is actually undertaking some development, prototyping and so on, actual research activity, even though the focus isn't on research, it's more on development. So really, technologies coming into this SME instrument should be pretty well developed. For those of you who have read the documentation, you'll have seen technology readiness level 6, and that's really the target for the SME instrument. So the SME instrument is not designed to fund basic research or stuff that needs to be developed from scratch. Really what the SME instrument is about is taking pretty well advanced technologies, developing a business plan for its commercialization, undertaking development activities, and then actually commercializing it on the marketplace. So that really reflects the 3 phases. The 3rd phase, which is the commercialization or the commercial launch of the technology. Couple of, I suppose, things to say about this. First of all, an SME can access this instrument on its own as a single entity, which is pretty unique, I guess, right across Horizon 2020, in that we have always worked with consortiums where you have a combination of research partners, academic partners, and industrial partners. And in the project that Kevin spoke about, you saw that there were 15 or 16 partners there. This is different. It's a much more simple, straightforward approach to accessing funding in that one single SME can take advantage or can access the funding. It's open calls, right? So you can actually submit an application at any time. And what the Commission are going to do is that they're going to gather up the applications that are in their system 4 times a year. So the first time that they're going to be doing that is on the 18th of June of this year. But if you have not submitted before the 18th of June, don't worry about it, because 3 months later they'll be gathering up the applications again, okay? So the way it's done is that at the moment the open call covers phase 1, which is this one here, okay? Which is really about developing the business plan. It's about developing the concept. It's proposing to undertake some feasibility work around the concept itself in terms of its technical feasibility and its commercial feasibility. There's a lump sum of €50,000 available for phase 1. €50,000 should equate to 70% of the costs of the project, okay? So typically phase 1 projects will come in at plus or minus €75,000, of which you'll get €50,000 lump sum, yours to spend so long as the objectives of phase 1 are achieved. It's quite a flexible regime. A lot of the bigger stuff that we're involved in, the €16 million project that Kevin coordinated, really the amount of administration in those projects is pretty significant. That is not the case here in the SME instrument, okay? Duration of phase 1 projects will be 6 months. Dave has just shown me a sign with 3, which I'm presuming is 3 minutes. Next phase is, so I'll hurry through it. The next phase is phase 2, okay? At the moment, phase 2 is not yet opened. It'll be opened later in the year, September, October time, I think. You can go in directly into phase 2, but you increase your chances of success in phase 2 if you have already participated in phase 1. Phase 3 is no financial support available, but it's coaching and mentoring. Now there's also coaching offered to successful projects in the other two phases as well. Okay, so there's a lot spoken about the SME instrument, and Jill Leonard is here from Enterprise Ireland as well, who's an expert in the area. I'm sure she'll be happy to answer questions, and there's a few of us here who have some experience of it, so again, that we're available after the presentation. In general, okay, if you haven't participated in Framework before, there's a few things that you should do after this meeting if it's of interest to you. The first thing to do is to check out the participant portal. Just Google participant portal, you'll be brought to the EU participant portal, and basically that's the repository for all of the information around Horizon 2020. For the first time, we have visibility on call topics for 2 years, okay, 2014 and 2015. We haven't had that before. We could only see what was coming up in the current year. This is the first time that we've had it for 2 years. So you can see basically all of the call topics for this year and for next year. Read the work programs, or read the relevant section of the work programs. These work programs can be torturous. Some of them, I was looking at one there last week, is 108 or 110 pages. But pick out the stuff that's relevant to you, go through the work program and target a call topic, okay? So a call topic will be something around maybe cloud or big data or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be quite specific, and pick out one that's relevant to your business. The next step is contact the existing support structures. Very good people in Enterprise Ireland, these national contact points, and again, the Enterprise Europe network. Okay? You'll be able to see contact details for all of these people online. Secondly, access EI supports. Two things to say. First of all, if you're a company and you have a development advisor, you may have a possibility to access a feasibility study grant for the writing of a Horizon 2020 proposal. The second thing to say is that these innovation vouchers that Paul Malone spoke about, as we understand it, and maybe Jill can confirm this, there is going to be a dedicated call for innovation vouchers to help companies work with academic institutes in terms of putting together SME instrument proposals.
That's correct.
Okay.
It may not be on the end of June though.
Okay. But it's going to be something that you should keep an eye on, and it will be available for the next batch of calls, okay? People as well often ask, well, where do I start in terms of finding partners? Very good database is Cordis, C-O-R-D-I-S. There you'll be able to see all previous proposals, successful projects, members of the consortium. Contact those projects, see if there's going to be a follow-on proposal, see what partners are interested maybe in collaborating with you, and so on. And I suppose from our point of view, you should also come and talk to us. In that, as I've said, there's a lot of experience there. We want to engage with SMEs from the point of view of maximising the impact in the proposals that we're actually writing. And number two, we also want to engage with SMEs on the SME instrument. And our offering there is that we will share our expertise with you if in return you give us some contracting work in the event of you being successful. So some SMEs will not have the technical capacity to carry out technical feasibility studies. We have. Our costs, we don't want the whole €50,000, but an element of it, if it contributes to the project, our costs will be covered as subcontracting. So come and talk to us. There's loads more I can say, but I know we're caught for time, Dave, and this is the last slide, okay? Right. I've covered this. Consider Horizon 2020. I've worked with a lot of companies over the years. I've been in and out of research centres. I've worked in industry. I've worked in Brussels. I've been around the block, let's say. When I started this, I was 6'3" and I had a full head of hair. So the most successful companies in Europe, right, in terms of accessing European funding, they look strategically at European funding as an element, as a way of funding an element of their research strategy. European funding is not the entire solution. Smart companies look at their research roadmap for the next 2 or 3 years, and then they start to segment it. They say, well, look, this is a short-term research project. Maybe Enterprise Ireland funding might be appropriate here. This is a slightly longer-term, 2 to 3 year research priority. Maybe European funding might be more appropriate here. So mix and match. I'm not saying that Horizon 2020 will give you the entire funding to fund your entire research strategy for the next 3 or 4 years, but it's an element of it. And be smart and show linkages between your short-term funded research through Enterprise Ireland, for example, and the slightly longer-term stuff through Europe. Be realistic. Success rates, there was another heading on that which thankfully has been changed, but be realistic. Success rates can be low, and I don't mean this in any negative way, right? It's just, Kevin said there was 1,200 proposals went in the round that he was targeting for societies. We looked at the stats for the call that closed there a few weeks ago. Success rate of somewhere between 1 and 25 down, or as good as, or down to 1 and 4, okay? Depending on the call topic. So if you're not successful first time round, don't give up. There's always the opportunities to resubmit. And in fairness to the European system, they give a very comprehensive evaluation summary report. So when your proposal is being evaluated by 3 evaluators, they actually give a 2, 3, 4 page document in terms of specific reasons why they gave it this particular mark. So if you're not successful, if you haven't got a high enough mark, you will at least have very specific guidance in what to address in a resubmission. And it might take 2 times, it might take 3 times resubmitting a modified proposal to eventually get success. And perseverance is the key. And take a long-term view. And be strategic about it. Look at European funding over a 3 or 4 year time horizon. Dip your toe in the water as a partner. See how you get on. Move along maybe to a work package leader. And eventually, maybe or maybe not, coordinate. Because coordination really is, it's a pretty heavy administration task. It suits some companies, other companies see it as a distraction from their core business. So you can still technically guide a project without the need to coordinate it. And that's maybe where guys like us come in to play as well, in that we have a lot of experience in coordination, so maybe we can take that burden from you. And that more or less is it, Dave. This is our contact information. I was asked just before I